So liveries, other than carbon fibre, what are we thinking about these liveries?
Right, so I've taken the liberty of ranking the liveries. I love a good race car colouring competition. So I'll just throw them out there. Guys give me your thoughts on this. So 10th, probably like the speed, Haas. It's anonymous, it's black, it's white, it's got a little bit of red. You could line every Haas up they've ever built and I wouldn't be able to tell you what year it's from.
I mean, you could say the same about Red Bull as well.
Yeah, the only Haas that's memorable is the one Grosjean shoved through some Armco, isn't it, really?
Exactly.
Well, yeah. And the Rich Energy one as well.
Forgot about that.
That's a podcast of its own as well, Rich Energy stuff, yeah.
Can I possibly disagree on your 10th place? Starting at the very, very back. I would like to put the Kick Cyber at the very, very back. I think at possibly this may sound slightly offensive to American listeners, but it looks like a budget Indy car, and I don't like it.
Oh, you know what it looks like? It when I saw it, I thought it was the Apex Grand Prix car from that Brad Pitt movie because it just doesn't look real. It's like it's a carbon fiber bodge job with some paint on it.
Yeah,
so I like the green, but does it look Formula One? Maybe not.
I originally rated the Sauber relatively high because one of the first cars to come out, and I was like, oh, it's a bit different. And then everything else came out as carbon fiber, and now it's not a bit different. So I retract my statement that I made on WhatsApp a few months ago. I
you
don't
guys
like
are not going to be happy with me. All right, so moving on to 9th, Alpine.
Sauber's too high already.
Yeah, carbon fiber. It's blue, it's pink, but I think what's hurt them is launching it alongside the hypercar, which was a proper good blue livery. This is just carbon fiber with a splash of corporate blue and a splash of sponsor pink as well. They could have done so much better with that, like the entire team, really.
The other thing that hurt them is they did a lot of social media teaser images of pink camouflage, and everybody got really excited and like, oh, this is going to be different. This is going to be cool. And it came out and there's zero pink camouflage on it. And then they went into a kind of recovery mode of, oh, we're just hiding what's underneath. Which is a dreadful way to launch a livery. Oh, we're going to tease a livery that doesn't exist and it's actually underneath the livery. Like that's terrible. So I actually like the Alpine, but I spotted in testing, it looks like it has more blue on it than the launch car did. I think they've taken it to heart. So I disagree with your Alpine rating because they're fixing it.
The other funny thing is using camouflage to hide what's underneath is carbon fiber, apparently. So it's not that much. It's not really hiding that much. But the other thing that hurt them, I guess, is just how good that sort of 2021 era Alpine livery was. A metallic blue that was all over the French flag at the back. That was almost a perfect livery, really, for Alpine, at least.
Exactly. Moving on to 8th then, and I've gone for Williams here. Again, it's just carbon fibre and blue. They do score points, though, because of integrating the Frank Williams logo across the engine cover. I do think that's a nice nod to their history on that one.
I think it's very Williams in that it's fine. It's an okay livery for an okay car. And I would absolutely agree with you.
Yeah, I suppose the nice thing is, like you say, that integration of the Frank Williams logo, it's harking back to their history without being overt like that. 2011, 2012, like fake Rothmans livery, which was quite cool when it launched, but that very quickly became old. So just a nod to the past rather than trying to recreate it. I think that's very good for Williams. That's what they should be doing going forward anyway.
Moving on to 7th then, and this one surprised me, if I'm honest. It's what everybody seems to be calling RB, which is not Red Bull. It's the Visa Cash App Racing
Bull's
Bull, whatever.
F1 team, but no one's calling them that, even though their email addresses say it, but I didn't say that.
Yeah, I'm going for worst team name in history is that one, and I'm quite confident to put that out on record. I actually think this livery isn't as bad as you think. I think it does look a little bit 90s backmarker, and as somebody who was a fan of 90s backmarkers, I'm entirely okay with it. You'd not be surprised to see this livery on a Minardi. in 1995.
Yeah,
And given what that team is,
scattergun some random like Italian furniture store sponsors on it and change the colours up a bit. It is a Minardi from 1995, really. Yeah.
Where's Roberto Moreno when you need him?
I think what's hurt this livery for me is that the Alpha Tauri version of this was really good, and they've just ruined that by sticking the red and white over it. Again, it's what you could have won. We're a completely different team to what we were before, but we're named the same as the main team, and we've got the livery of the predecessor as well. So there you go. Sixth, I've gone for Mercedes on this one. I'll be honest, I don't like the silver flash on the nose and the rest of the car being black. Pick one or the other, or even maybe just make the entire top of the car silver and the lower half of the car black. But yeah, not one of their better efforts.
I quite like it. I quite like the Mercedes livery this year. I always preferred the silver to the black. I think black can be a bit of a racing car cliche, so the silver was great. And to see a little bit of the silver, whenever you see the car coming head on towards you and you do see that silver nose, it's at least really, really distinctive. I really like the livery this year.
Yeah, it's grown on me, to be fair. When I first saw the launch, it's like, what have they done there? It's just a bit of silver on top and the rest is sort of carbon fiber, or black or whatever. But I think what we saw in 2022, when they went back to the silver from having the black car for those couple of years, the silver looked quite dated almost. It sort of reminded of that Hamilton Rosberg era, going backwards a bit. The black always felt better to me, and it was nice to see them go back to that last year. But they had to do something with it this year, I think, especially to break away from, they've made a big concept change. The car has to look different in more than just the side pods. So I think the silver works quite well. Maybe they'll tweak it a bit as we go.
Moving on to fifth, and I've got McLaren there. Again, it's carbon fibre, but the orange stands out, the papaya. McLaren have made that colour their own again, and I think it works really well. I've put them in the middle of the list because I've got no doubt they'll do what they did last year and change their livery 16 times across the 24 races. So who knows what it'll actually be by the end of the season.
Yeah, and what it took me a while to actually notice with the McLaren is that baby blue bit's just gone entirely.
Yeah.
So it's actually this? I thought it was the same as last year, but no, it's actually quite different.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I think they've taken off the worst bits of last year's livery and sold them to Alpine instead.
They still got the chrome wheels though, which is interesting.
Yeah, it's not good.
It's a fun bit of branding. It's a good use of a logo.
As a very, very, very minor digression, if we're going to talk about wheels, the best wheels in recent years were AlphaTauri in the last couple of years when they had the white wheels.
Oh yeah, major points for white wheels.
Yeah. That's a podcast on its own as well. White wheels.
Fourth place, I've gone for Red Bull. It's the same as always, but it is becoming, an iconic livery. We talk about the JPS liveries, the Marlboro liveries, the Rothmans liveries. They became iconic because they were the same year after year. We got used to them, and I think it is the same for the Red Bull now. Kudos for them for not taking the paint off.
Yeah, I think they've, that livery has become an iconic one because you think back to those early Red Bull designs where they tried to put the can as the paintwork on the car.
Very briefly, yeah.
Yeah, those kind of like mid 2000s, late 2000s, like thinking back to like RB1, RB2.
Yeah.
I mean, they would be absolutely mad to change it given how iconic it is.
I mean, Red Bull have done some great liveries over the years, to be fair, as well. You're thinking of the Coulthard Superman and Star Wars ones at Monaco, the testing liveries with the camo and stuff like that in the sort of Ricardo era. And yeah, their main livery is just iconic at this point. It's why mess with it? It's a perfect bit of branding.
Exactly. Third place then is Aston Martin. I really love that green. It's a lovely green. I think they've refined it since they brought it back as well, and it's no longer looking quite as black on TV pictures. No complaints on that. Now they've got rid of the BWT as well, and it's gone back to the lime green Aston Racing. It's much better.
Yeah, can't argue that at all. Aston Martin, it's just a classic look these days already.
Yeah. Which I'm sure you're working out now. It's between two of them. So we've got Ferrari and Sauber. And I won't go with number 2 first. I'll reveal number 1 first. I think the best livery this year is the Ferrari.
I would probably
Thank God
agree,
you
and
said
even though everybody knows that the Ferrari will be red, and it will be the same red as it was last year. For every once in every 20 years, they might change the red, but I think those yellow stripes, they just make it look great.
Yeah, the question with Ferrari is, yes, it's going to be red. It's going to look like a Ferrari. It's going to be very cool. But are they going to cock it up somehow? Like with a random bit of white or that weird little black on the side pods last year where it was sort of cut out around one of the sponsor logos.
The Mission Winnow green.
Or that, yeah. Wow. But this year, yeah, they've sort of aligned to the hypercar and Formula One liveries a bit, and it's been to the benefit of both programs, I think. The Formula One car looks great.
I think the only thing they could have improved on it for me is they've got red wheel covers on there. If they'd have made them gold, I think that's it. That's it. Crown them champions now for me.
Yeah, and there's a bit of red that extends over the front wing, or there was on the launch car at least. I haven't paid too much attention in testing. That could go away, I think, if it hasn't already. But yeah, so there's always improvements with Ferrari. There always will be on every single level, apparently. It's very Ferrari to just go very slightly sideways at the end, actually. So.
Yeah. Okay, so that's the 2024 liveries ranked.
I totally
very
disagree.
Disappointed. Yeah, I'm in exact agreement with Scott. It's like I agree with most of these. If you move the Sauber down the list, just stick it near the bottom.
Yeah, to the bottom.
Yeah, you're gonna have to state your cause, state your reasoning for that. Now.
So I was with you.
You cannot just blow past it.
With you guys.
We're not even going to say what second was. We've already figured it out. But yeah, we figured that out. But why?
Yeah.
Launched, I was like you. It's carbon fibre. It's a very garish green and all that. But you know what? And this is why I always like to wait until I've seen them on track before making my mind up. It looks so good on TV. It stands out. You can tell what it is straight away. It looks good. It's and it's a huge departure from before as well. Not like RB have tried, where they tried to relaunch the team but still hang on to some elements. It's aggressive, and I think it's Valtteri Bottas in livery form.
Yeah, that's a good argument. You can sit on that one. That's good.